I might have been a little optimistic with the semi-slick tires on a 720 horsepower car. That means that there's not much between third and fifth gear that fourth gear is actually going to take care of. But man, oh man, you guys are watching me fall apart with this thing right now. Right out to that outside, getting on the fence there. Leave a like on the video and subscribe if you want to see future content. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode with BrogAutohaus. Today we are on Forza Horizon 5, and we're going to jump into a little drift build action. We're going to build out a Nissan 240SX today. We'll see if we're going to do an engine swap or anything. I think we're going to keep stock motor. We're going to do a full drift build and show you guys kind of what I think is going to be the best build, and we're going to jump out, do some drift zones, and see what you guys think. So as you can see on the screen right now, my newly acquired Mercedes CLK AMG GTR. This thing is wild fast and super cool looking, but that's not what we're focused on today. So we're going to hop out of the photo mode there. We'll jump into the auto show and pick out our Nissan that we're going to be buying. And let's see here. We're going to do a basic 240. Well, yeah, let's do the 240SX SE in 1993. So we're going to buy one of these. Looks bone stock, little Tommy FES spec. If you've been keeping up, he just got one of these. It's kind of funny looking. Just a beater old 240. And why not? We'll pick that red. That looks good to me. Not too shabby. Alright, so I always like to back out of that, go to my upgrades and tuning. We're going to do a custom upgrade today on this thing. We're going to start with the conversions. As far as the engine goes, I think we're going to keep stock motor. Sounds pretty good, actually. We could do a 3.2. They have a lot of engine options for this thing. So what's that versus... This seems like it would be an SR swap, which is what this car should come with. Maybe we will do that. And then RB. That sounds good. V8. Nah, too much. Okay, so an i4 turbo. VVT or a turbo. I think we'll do the VVT. There's racing engine. That's the GTR motor. And then a 4-rotor. Alright, so let's do the VVT. I think that'll be a good engine for it. That is what they come with, bone stock. We'll throw a turbo on it. See what kind of power we can push out of this thing. Aero-wise, see what looks best here. I don't like that. I'm okay with the West. Charge is aggressive. Why not? We'll do the charge speed kit here. Don't like any of those spoilers. God, I wish they had some better options for that. We'll keep it stock for now. Rear bumper. We'll stick with the charge kit. And the side skirts will stick charge as well. Just keep it kind of all uniform here. Wheels and tires. So I've been using the Drift tire compound, and I gotta say I'm not a huge fan of it. The grip just isn't really what you would wish to have for a drift car. So I'm gonna try to run the semi-slick tire. I'm gonna just do the Horizon semi-slick because I like the lettering on the tire there. On the fronts, we're gonna stick with a 215. On the rear, we're gonna go 255. It seems about right for the motor that we're gonna be using. Wheels wise, we're gonna pick something fairly basic and quick. What the heck? What are even those? What the heck are those? And they're turbo fan wheels, but God, they look terrible. Okay. No, you know, Wheels are always a tough one for me because for each car, there's certain wheels that work and certain wheels that really don't. No, don't like those. Bear with me. We're just going to go very standard TEs. We are going to upgrade those to 18s. Don't want to go anything too crazy, but 18s will look good. Now for the rear fitment here, we can poke them out a little bit. I think that's the right thing to do. It's a drift car after all. Now that might be a little too much poke in the front. We'll stick with the first level of poke there. Okay, so we're going to fully upgrade the clutch, the transmission. We're going to go to a race trans, but not anything more than what the standard, transmission has, which is a 6-speed. And we'll go to a drift diff, even though I am going to adjust the percentages on that in the tuning here in a second. The drift diff, for some reason, I don't know why, but they put it at like 85% on acceleration and like something stupid like 0% on decel, which you don't really want, but maybe some people do, I guess. All right, so drift spring and dampers, which means we might want to go back and actually poke that front wheel out a little more because it looks like with the camber and everything, it's bringing it in a little further. Yeah, let's do that. Front tires. So as you can see here, we can bring it all the way out now and it doesn't poke because it's cambered out in the front like most drift cars are. All right, so we did that. We'll upgrade the engine all the way here. We'll see how much power this is going to give us. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in the 600 to 700 range. At least that's kind of what I'm hoping for. They don't typically get much above that for like an SR. We'll install the setup. Yeah, there you go. 720, 2,500 pounds. Puts it at an S1 855. And while that's saving, we're going to take a sip of coffee. All right. So, custom tuning wise, tire pressures, because it's a semi-slick race tire, I'm going to bring this up to a 30 in the front. And we're going to run, we're going to start with a 20 in the rear and see how that works out for us. Alignment, -5 in the front, 1.5 in the rear. Casters at 7. We're going to leave tow for now, unless we run into some issues where we really need some tow. Brakes. We could probably put a little bit of pressure to the front here on this because we're going to be foot braking a little bit. And then differentials. See, they have it at 83 and 0. And for this, I particularly don't like the 0 because when you let off throttle, the diff opens up, it grips up, and then you lose drift. So I like to bring this up to about a 65 or 70. We're going to go 70 and see how that feels. We'll apply that to the current setup. And that's it. So let's hop out. I'm not going to bother painting it right now. We'll see how we do in the drift zone here. And we're going to pick this drift zone down here, Arbolada. 110,000. My personal best is 182. I don't know if this car is going to be able to beat something like that, but we'll certainly find out. Car sounds good. So when we get off the dirt road, we'll figure out if it's doing decent or not. I'm not going to go straight because I know that's a dirt road path and I want to drift a little bit on the way over.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
This thing sounds really nice. Ooh. I like how the semi-slick tires are feeling. I might have to add a little pressure to the rear because it is gripping up pretty good. Yeah, we'll try it a little bit more for a couple turns, and I might have to.
Turn left.
Yeah, I want it to slide just a little more, so I'm going to go into my tuning, bring that rear up to 30. We'll just match the fronts, maybe even bring those to 35s, because we want a little less grip in the front than we do in the rear for drifting in particular. Oh, this thing is filthy dirty already from that little dirt road that we started at. That's much better. Much better feel with that extra 10 PSI. fourth gear might need to be adjusted a little bit in the tuning here in the transmission. Right out to that outside. Getting on the fence there. Right on the guardrail. Riding that limiter like crazy. Alright, here's the start of the drift zone. Ah, fourth gear. Come on, baby. I think we're going to have to make some adjustments for when we... Yep. We're going to do some tuning here after this drift zone. See what kind of points we put up, and then I think we're going to adjust fourth gear because third gear is not quite enough, and fourth gear is just, it's too long. I think if I was on the drift tire, fourth gear would be fine. But like I said, you know, fourth gear on the drift tire, it's just, the drift tire doesn't have the right grip. It kind of feels like it's losing... Something's not right with it. You know, I like the idea that they added the drift tire this time around when they didn't have it before. But we're going to go ahead and adjust the tuning on this here, the gearing wise. So you can see third is a 182, fourth jumps to a 133. That's a big jump. So I think we're gonna, third is pretty solid. We're gonna try to bring this up to about a 150, which means we gotta bring fifth up to maybe a 115. We'll bring this up to like a 90, 92. 150. We should probably bring that up a little bit too. You got to look at the curve that's in the bottom right where it shows the graph of the RPM and miles per hour. That's going to play an important role in how your gears change from one to the next. If there's a really short line, like you can see my fourth gear, it does show it pretty short. That means that there's not much between third and fifth gear that fourth gear is actually going to take care of. But since we want the wheels to spin, we need to make sure that that has the gearing that is going to allow for it to get into gear. We'll jump here back up the hill. Second gear, third gear. Flick it in with third. Fourth. Now we're going uphill, so it's going to be a little different, but fourth is definitely doing better. Ooh, boy, I'm just taking out the guardrails. Looping it. It should be plenty of power in theory, but in reality, it might have to be closer to 1,000 in this game to really run the semi-slicks. You guys, this is not looking good. I do want to run it downhill though again, just with that adjustment, because I really want to compare apples to apples, and man, I wish I had a clutch button too, really bad. Alright, so that was 129K. Let's see what we can do here going down the hill. This engine is really loud. Threw it too deep, obviously. Ran right into the gate, but fourth gear is holding its own now. It should be able to link down to here. A little flick. Man, oh man, you guys are watching me fall apart with this thing right now. Okay, third gear can make its way out of the hairpin. We need to gain a little more momentum before we switch to fourth. There we go. That's more like what I was looking for. Alrighty. So obviously this thing needs a little more fine-tuning. In general, I really like these things, how they look. We could try a little first-person action as well. We'll give that a shot, and then we'll finish it up for today. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Let me know if you play the game, if you've been struggling with certain cars, or you know, you have certain tunes that you have questions about, or what certain things do. I do want to make a detailed video on kind of how certain tuning adjustments affect your car. They're slightly different than what we've seen in, you know, Car X Drift Racing and some of those other ones, but in general, you know, they're supposed to do kind of the same thing, but it depends on the game and how they program that in. You know, certain video games, toe makes a big difference in the front and rear. Certain games, it really doesn't seem to have an effect, which is weird because obviously, real life wise, wow, I just completely butchered that. In real life, it's a big thing for drifters, you know, their rear toe, their front toe, and how those affect each other. So why not? First person, we're going to do a final rundown here. See what you guys think. Fourth gear, we got a little rain helping us out now. We're going to do a little manji here. Huh. 360. Into the tree. That was bad enough. I think we have to call it there, man. Well, thank you guys for watching, as always. Apologize for the delay since last Friday's video, but I was a little sick over the weekend. So don't forget to put your life in drive, leave a like on the video, and subscribe if you want to see future content. And we will see you next time.